How you guys doing? So today's video is going to be probably a little bit of a longer one, I know, but I haven't done this video in a long time. I think the last time I did it was almost close to 6 months ago or so, maybe even longer, honestly. This is gonna just be like my whole Zeta in my rosters and my Zeta is my roster, and which ones I regret, which ones I think are really good ones and have stood the test of time. So I got close to 100, so we got to get going here pretty freaking fast. So we have 6 Zetas on Rey. I am not too sure which ones were the Zeta, if I were to be completely honest with you, because I just spammed and spammed and spammed the Zeta button because I wanted to get her maxed out. But I'm pretty sure the best one here was on this one, the Whirlwind. Pretty much you just deal 3 times massive damage, which is like 3 annihilates almost. 100k plus 3, or 100k times 3. So it's pretty much like annihilate, honestly. I think her leadership was really good as well. Galactic Legend had one. I think everybody here had one except for Basic, honestly. So, I mean, it's okay. Everything here is okay on Rey. The one that stands out to me the most is this one here. I just remember this one being the best, and it still is the best for me. So that's her. I don't want to go into her too much because we're going to have to talk about a whole lot more people, right? But next one here is Kyla Crew. Kylo Unmasked. He has a couple. He's got one on his Scarred Unique. He gets a pre-taunt and more counter chance while taunting, which is great. I actually remember using this way back in the day with needing to use a pre-taunter in my either Padme, I think, or maybe it was like my JKR versus Malix. It was a great counter, actually. It was JKR, some other guys, Jolie, GMY, Hoda, maybe. And then you get this guy here for the taunt and pre-taunt. Great Zeta. And he's actually immune to those drain lives from Malik, which is awesome. His leadership is totally awesome as well. Highly recommend it for you guys that are new or maybe mid game. But he's great all around. I don't regret any of those Zetas on him because I got use out of him. So next one here is Mr. Darth Malik himself. He has a couple of them. He has this one, Gnawing Terror, which inflicts fear onto somebody if he gets a dot on himself or gets crit. And then he gets a Jaws of Life, which resets its cooldowns, give him 100% turn meter, and he can pretty much just use his Drain Life, which is great. Both great Zetas in my opinion. So next up here is Finn, or Poe rather. Poe has one on his Unique. This Unique is actually very powerful because if you think about it, if an enemy critically hits an inspired ally, all buffs are dispelled from that enemy. Pretty crazy for like the most part, I would say. It gets really good uses. I mean, just coming back to him for a little bit. His whole Unique is really bonkers. I think it was Fail who did a video on his Unique only, just talking about the Unique and how good it is. It's really busted. Probably one of the best Uniques in the game, honestly. I'm not going to lie. The Zeta here, it does add something. Is it really needed? Probably not, but it's okay if you guys want to go all out on your Rays like I did. If you don't have a GL Ray, just probably don't even bother with that Zeta, honestly. But this Zeta, I probably would, because this Zeta is great if you want to maybe counter some Darth Revans out there, or if you're going to be fighting and maybe using this versus a stun-heavy team like the Bounty Hunters can have a lot of stuns, stuff like that. Pretty much, if they are prevented from using the ability during their turn, they recover 40% health and protection and turn meter. Great Zeta here for really, I think it's any ally. So yeah, it's any ally here, which is awesome. And I think it gets a lot more use than you guys might think, I guess. So that's him. Got to keep this train chugging along. Traya, Darth Traya, Isolate. Now the Zeta here. I think that's on the Unique and Leader. Yep. So leadership, you take less damage outside. It's a great one. I think this is a top tier Zeta for the Sith. And this allows you, both these Zetas actually allow you to 2v5 the Geo Notions, the bugs, and is very important. Being able to dispel your debuffs is huge, and the lower offense and stuff like that is really nice as well with the leadership. So it's a great Zeta. Both Zetas are great. Wat Tambor, on his mass manufacture, he takes a bonus turn instead, which means that he's going to be at the very start of the battle giving out an extra piece of tech. Very crucial. It's very important to how you want to use Wat Tambor in your GACs and TWs, and heck, even arenas. You must have that if you have Wat Tambor. I'm not sure what else to say about that one. It's a must-have. It's a very no-brainer one. So next up here, we got the leadership for Palpatine and the Unique for him as well. So this one is a must-have if you want to get some more turn meter gain. It's a must-have in any regards, any aspect of using him. It's a must. So good, being able to get extra turn meter is huge in this game. It's one of the biggest things, actually. And then Crackling Doom Unique. So he gets more protection, a little bit more max protection as well whenever a shock is applied. Not the craziest thing. It doesn't have a whole lot of longevity in like the terms of a battle, but It could in like a potential raid, but even then it's probably not going to get much use. So if anything, I don't think I need that Zeta, but it was at the it was like more of an impulse that I did at the time of it being released. It was an okay one at the time, and that's why I have it. So that's why I got that one. This next one is on Nest. Nest has her unique, which is a great one. She ignores taunt, and she gets now stacking health steal on top of her stacking critical damage, which is great. So it's a great one. If you were to try to solo some teams with Nest, I would really recommend this Zeta. It's a great one, and it adds a lot more versatility to her kit because she's now able to ignore taunts. So this one here is on my Kylo Ren. This is on his Unstoppable unique, I think, where whenever, or no, it's actually on his Outrage. I forgot. It's on his Outrage special. Whenever he deals damage with this, he gets the damage back, but in protection. So he's going to get more protection every time he uses this. So it's a good one, but it's so outdated now because of how his kit works. It's not the best kit. What I do like about it, though, is that if you were to go for the new Kylo, you can get this guy Relic 7 because you need him Relic 7, and you can get that Zeta on him. Now you can solo a lot more teams. He's kind of like a little bit of a Nest, and that little Zeta there comes in very, very handy with getting more protection on himself, which is great. So outside of that, I probably would say it's a really bad Zeta. You're not going to get much use out of it, honestly. I did, though, because I've been playing since almost day one. I got a lot of use out of these Zetas, and that's an old school Zeta right there. So same thing here with Qui-Gon Jinn. He has a leadership here. Very, very outdated leadership. He gets out more speed, offense equal to 3 times of their speed, and foresight at the start of each encounter and whenever an ally or enemy dies. So more foresight's great. The speed is okay. The offense is kind of interesting, but even then it's kind of outdated. I remember using this when it was kind of a big thing back in the day with more Jedi, surrounding him, and it was a great, great team. But now in today's terms, it's very, very poor. I probably wouldn't say this if I had it again, if I had the option to at least, so I probably wouldn't. Next up here is the Stormtrooper for First Order. He has a Zeta on his unique, gives him more chances to get called to assist, which is not bad at all. Which is kind of nice because the more chance he has to assist, if he does have a base skin, he has advantage. He can now dispel buffs, which is great. Outside of that, though, I probably wouldn't say it's an insane Zeta, but I do like him a lot actually as a character in the game. The Zeta doesn't do crazy amounts to him, but it can be very, very powerful at times. Next up here is Special Force, or is TIE Fighter, just a normal one, no Special Forces here. He has a unique Zeta. Don't get this one, guys. Please don't. Unless you're a huge ship fanatic, don't get this one because you're not getting much out of it. You're getting some foresight, but even then it's not crazy. You're getting some more damage and crit chance, but even then it's not a huge one to go after. This is an old one I used. Don't know really why. Actually, I think I do know why. I'm not sure if you guys remember who Jedi Master Alon is, but I used to watch him a lot back in the day, and this guy wailed out on this character, way back in the day, and I'm like, dude, holy cow, I gotta get this guy. And then I got him, and I'm like, man, I gotta toss a Zeta on him because he's that good. I did, and that's what happened there. So, throwback there, I guess you could say. Other Zetas I have here, I have one on Hux. Hux Zeta is great. Top tier Zeta for the First Order. It says whenever all allies are First Order, start of the battle, nobody's gonna be able to get any turn meter while he has advantage, which is amazing. They had to fix that a little bit ago because it was a little bit too powerful in encountering some teams, but that's a great Zeta. I think it's a must for Hux. Okay, so coming on down the line here, we got 4 on to General Skywalker. Great all-around uses here. The only one I probably would wouldn't recommend if you guys were just getting him like Gear 11, 5, 6 star. You don't need this basic Zeta. If you were to get Relic 7, go for all out on the Zetas. But the basic, you don't need it because he's going to still hit twice. But now with the Zeta, you're going to be hitting with a special that can be dodged actually, and it can reuse some cooldowns potentially as well, which is not bad. But it's not a must-have if you were to get him 5 or 6 star. You can get away without that Zeta. It's a good one though, regardless. So next up here is JTR. JTR has her leadership and her unique here. A couple uniques actually. Leadership is very, 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 very good and important in the Resistance team with other people like BB-8, R2, 3PO, Trooper, so on and so forth. Her unique here isn't that great. I don't have it. But this one is pretty good because she's going to get more chance to get Foresight. And Foresight's a pretty big thing with her because also on top of that, she actually is an evasion tank, which means she's going to get even more dodge chance built in with her after the Foresights have gone away, which is great. I think she's a great tank actually. Chewbacca here is he has a couple on his unique. He has his loyal friend and his raging Wookiee. This one is not needed at all. It's was probably only good back in the metas with like JKR and such like that and Traya with increasing the cooldowns a little bit. But outside of that, you're not going to get much use out of it, honestly. Or maybe you do, but you won't really notice it because it doesn't do much for you whatsoever. This one, Loyal Friend, is a must-have, though, if you guys want to get more HP protection on your guarded allies and your Chewbacca himself. So great Zetas there. Fives, though, has a couple ones. One is on his Domino squad, get more turn meter whenever a clone is hit, which is great, not bad at all. But this one is very game changing because if he, or actually rather, if any 501st is defeated, well, he now dies instead for them. He takes the hit, and now he gives out all these crazy stat bonuses to his whole teammates, and that's crazy. It's a top tier Zeta for that whole faction, and outside the faction, you can get some good uses as well, with as long as you have other 501st there. So coming on down the line here, we got BB-8. He has a couple here on his uniques. Nothing crazy here. He can be called out. He can be called to assist. Or when he's called to assist, he gets another random resistance ally to assist as well. So 2 assists, which isn't bad. This one's pretty good as well. Not a whole lot of crazy uses out of it. I got this one for the HSTR for Phase 1. It was really nice in regards to getting more HP and protection after annihilate somebody or after an AoE. But after that, I don't think I got much use out of it, honestly. Which is kind of unfortunate because he's a kind of cool and interesting character. I do like him a lot. Okay, next up here we got Jedi Knight Revan here. 3 Zetas. He has a direct focus one. He's got a leadership and he's got a savior. I think it's a savior at least. If it's not savior, it's probably this one. I forget though. But all these Zetas are great. You know, every one of them is amazing. This one, it has its use and it still is useful whether you have it or if you don't have it. In this whole build, yeah, I guess you could say you don't need a Zeta though for kind of some uses, but I would say for most majority uses, just get it anyways. It's gonna, pay you back tenfold. And then anyways, if you're gonna get a legendary character, you might as well get their Zetas already done anyways. They're just that good. So CLS is up next. Leadership and his 2 uniques. 2 uniques aren't very good except for It Binds All Things, which is a game changer for more turn meter gain whenever he inflicts a debuff, which is huge. Leadership is also insane with more turn meter gain. A lot of these Zetas on him are just turn meter gain Zetas. However, this one is not a necessary one. Yeah, you get some more critical avoidance and tenacity, but you don't need it because he's usually going to have guard anyways. He's going to not be able to get crit and get any more debuffs really applied to him that are really going to be meaningful to you. You don't have to worry about it. But those other 2 Zetas are huge. Love them a lot. So this guy's got one here. Anakin's got one. Righteous Fury is a great one. Inside the Padme team, it's a must, I feel like, because it also enables your Padme to take more bonus turns as well as your Anakin does, which is amazing. You can cycle back to more with Padme's cleanses, her kick, all that sort of stuff is very, very crucial. It's a great Zeta. I don't think this is a waste of Zeta whatsoever because it got so much use out of it with the Padme team and such. Such a great Zeta, I think. Grandmaster Yoda, though, on the other hand, what a waste of Zeta this is. What a piece of garbage Zeta this is on the leadership. Such a waste of Zeta. I got this the day it came out when he got reworked, and I thought this would be the best Zeta ever. And then like 2 weeks later down the line, we get Jedi Knight Revan in the game, and this Zeta goes to waste. It is just completely wasted now. This battle meditation, though, was a great Zeta. You get more turn meter gain and more foresight to your teammates. It's amazing. The leadership, though, is very, very, very poor. It really is. R2, though, is up next. R2 is great Zeta here on both of them. Combat analysis with more critical chance. Well, actually, really, just rather you get cleansing on your crits, which is great. This one, though, however, you get even more stats to your team and to yourself, which is amazing. I love that one a lot. Okay, coming down the line here, Han Solo. I don't regret this at all. It's probably one of the ones I wish I had more of that were this great because you get more critical chance and you can do more basics, which is amazing. A lot of DPS built into the character right there. Darth Revan, though. Man, how many more do I have? Holy poop. Oh, man. Darth Revan, though, we got 3 of them. Darth Revan has 3. He has this one as a lead. He has a couple uniques. Not bad at all. I do not regret any of these because of how much use I've gotten out of them. I can't think of any ones there that are bad or just really bad at all. They're just so good. Shakti has the same things here. Her leadership is awesome with more health and protection recovery, and her unique with more retribution is amazing. That's pretty much that we're going to get there. It's huge for the clones. Bosk, you have a leadership and a unique. Unique isn't awesome, but it can be pretty useful at times. Leadership is very awesome. Very good leadership there on Bosk. You must have that, in my opinion. Grievous, He has 2 as well, leadership and also a unique. Unique is really good. Leadership is also as good, but between the two, I think the unique's way better. Both are really good, really going to be huge for you anyways. So might as well get both. So that's that. You get, I guess, I think in the leadership you get some target lock. People can't counterattack with target locks and such like that. More turn meter game, which is pretty huge. So that's that. Padme though. Padme gets so much great Zetas here. She has 2 of them, and this is her leadership here. While they have protection of light side allies resist all debuffs and cannot be critically hit. Insane Zeta right there. So great. It really is. Because it's tied to not just the Galactic Republic, it's tied to the whole light side faction. That's kind of nuts. So I think it's a great Zeta. Unique here is another great Zeta here as well. Whenever somebody is countering or assisting or attacking a turn at all, they're going to be now getting protection up, which can't be prevented or dispelled, and is increased to 40% if Padme is a leadership. So even more things you have to go through there, which is really annoying at times, in my opinion. So next up here is Boba Fett. This one isn't a must-have. You get some more, you get some more protection on a finishing blow. Nothing crazy. I don't think I need this right now at the moment, but it served me well pretty good in the past. And, sometimes it comes in clutch, but most of the time it doesn't. So that's that one. ARC Trooper has a pretty solid one here as well. On his Arsenal unique, whenever he assists when ARC Trooper attacks out turn, or I guess whenever ARC Trooper attacks out turn, the turret will as well. So you're going to get 2 assists now, which is not that bad at all. It's actually pretty great Zeta with Shakti. So down here at Jango Fett, this is a great Zeta, however, on his unique that I have. Enemies defeated cannot be revived during his turn, which is amazing. Whenever you kill somebody, they can't be revived, which is great to stop some of the Night Sister counters out there. I use it a lot in my GACs, so it's a great one. Oops, I got Shakti up here right now. Next, on her unique called Serve Again, more stacking health and making her a lot more tanky is crucial in her assault battle for the Night Sisters, and pretty much all around use for the Night Sisters, especially in killing Grievous teams. You must have this Zeta. So awesome. And also the territory battle with even more stacking HP makes her even easier to clear those hard phases and zones. So Echo is up next on his Domino squad. It's nothing crazy. Whenever somebody is evading an attack from a clone trooper or 501st, Echo deals damage to them equal to 20% of their max health. It can be good at times, but for the most part it's not necessary. I think it's an okay one, nothing crazy. Joel leads though on his unique, or on his special rather, on his revive. You revive now all Jedi at 80% health and give them critical hit immunity for 5 turns. This is a game changer Zeta. I think we need more Zetas like this for the Jedi, or just for general, I guess. Probably not more for Jedi because that'd be kind of overpowered, right? So next up here is Rex. Rex has a unique here, pretty good unique. It says here other 501st clones reduce their own abilities by 1 at the start of each of their turns. Not for Rex himself, but for the other allies, which are those 501st clones. Great Zeta. Makes it so you can get some more assists off with your 5s, some more, turrets off with your arc, and more stuns with the AoE grenade with your Echo. Great Zeta there. So next up here on the list is General Kenobi. General Kenobi has a Surisu Zeta, pretty relatively new for the most part. And it says this: if all allies are Galactic Republic, General Kenobi taunts for 1 turn whenever a Galactic Republic ally loses any protection up. Great Zeta for the Padme team, making sure that not only will he now taunt not just with the critical hits, but now you get even more taunting potential with the protection up, leaving somebody, and you can get the taunt up. It's great Zeta. I like it a lot. Next up here is Geo Brood Alpha. Unique is great because you get pretty much a pre-taunt here on the Queen's Will. Great Zeta. I think the pre-taunt is really huge. The Zeta on the leadership isn't as huge. He does get some of its uses, but for the most part, you don't need it. It's not necessary whatsoever. So that's him. Darth Sion, though, man, oh man, do I love Darth Sion. He has a great unique on his Lord of Pain unique. At the end of each turn, Sion inflicts pain for 3 turns on enemies who damaged him that turn. So, just think of all those extra pains you're going to be giving out. This is one of the biggest Zetas you need for the 2v5 Darth Trade, Darth Sion versus the Geonosians. It's a must-have. You have to keep those pains up and alive so you get more taunting. And whenever they hit you a lot, you can kind of reduce your own cooldown a little bit with how Traya functions and all that sort of stuff, which is great. Not bad at all. So next up here we're going to chat about is B1. B1 is a very simple one here. you just get 50 more stacks of Droid Battalion, which is great. It goes from 50 to 100 now, and with 100 now you get even more offense, more critical avoidance, and more tenacity. It's a must-have Zeta for B1 and the droids. I would really, really recommend it for you guys out there. So next up here is Grand Admiral Thrawn. He has a unique Zeta here, which gives him more counter chance, tenacity, and enemies who are fractured, or while enemies are fractured, and whenever another Empire ally uses a special ability, if he is active, they lose some turn meter or something like that. It's not a nice necessary Zeta, but his leadership can be nice at times. Honestly, in today's game and how I use it personally, I don't need any of these two Zetas. I can get around and get by with just using him as is. The fracture is all I need. The TM stop is all I need. You don't need these two Zetas because he's not really going to be using the leadership a whole lot. So that's that. BSF is a great Zeta in my opinion. On Sith Apprentice, you get more potency to her and the character in the leadership, and foresight for one turn at the start of the battle. Great Zeta here. I love the potency. It's a great team to use to counter Grievous teams. A lot of other teams here in the game as well, like Padmes and such. And also, it's great in the TBs because you have more chances to apply debuffs, and she applies a lot of debuffs. It's a must-have, I think, in my opinion, with Bastila and how you use her. Next up here, man, oh man, do I wish I didn't put any Zetas on this guy. T3. T3 has Zetas here on his two uniques. More critical chance and potency, critical damage as well. And then he also has more defense penetration. This is only good if you were to use the Grievous nuke team. Outside of that, you would only really use it for his ship. If you were to be a ship fanatic, like I'm kind of not, but I did because I thought I'd work on the Grievous nuke. Didn't get much use out of that. I got like maybe a week into it, got his Zetas on him, didn't use it after that. Tuesdays I wish I did not put on him right there. Man, I wish I had those Zetas back. Hermit Yoda though, he has one on his special here with more protection and foresight with a Jedi, which is great. Less cooldown as well. And also you get more master training whenever an ally is defeated, but you don't really want anybody to die anyways, so that kind of is a waste. Can be good at sometimes, but most times it's not going to be used really at all for your team and how you use him. So Asajj is up next with her leadership and her unique. Rampage is a great unique, more stacking health, offense, and critical chance, and more turn meter gain. It's crazy good. Leadership is really good as well. You get some more TMR whenever you hit somebody, and more turn meter whenever Night Sister is falling below 100% health. Great Zetas there. Next up here is Towson. Towson has kind of same Zetas as where they are. Leadership, uniques. Crazy good leadership here as well. You get a lot more plagues and a lot more revives, which kind of almost fuel Asajj and Daka with their uniques as well for their Zetas, which is great. It's a great top tier Zeta in my opinion, especially for the Night Sisters. The next up here is Plague Bearer. A little bit more turn meter gain whenever somebody falls below half health. Not that bad, but honestly, the more you think about it, you're going to have a lot of people falling below that threshold of health, and you're going to be seeing a lot more Towson turns, which is kind of scary. So that's her. Ahsoka has a Zeta on her unique as well, and this is a very simple one. Whenever the enemy or whenever the ally in the leadership is a Galactic Republic, she can now assist whenever a Galactic Republic uses a special ability, which is really good. A lot more chances to dispel with her basic, and to open up the field to, hitting whoever you want to, getting rid of a taunt, going for somebody else. That's a lot more important. It's a great Zeta. 3PO has a couple, but this one I have on him is on Oh My Goodness. Very simple. You apply one more Confuse, but that Confuse now makes it so he can now stop their turn meter gain and their bonuses on countering people and assisting. It's a great Zeta. Off the bat, having two Confuses is huge for your team and how you want to use them. Great Zeta. Next up here is Old Ben. He has a couple, but this one I have on him on his unique is great as well. More turn meter gain, and also on top of that, you recover more health and protection. And the first time he's defeated, you give that more turn meter to your allies. Great Zeta. I actually love this one a lot. I use this guy in my gas counters, and that turn meter gain, only 2% more, can just grant you so many more turns, honestly, because you're going to get even faster to your mind tricks, to your taunt, to your basic, whatever it may be. Great Zeta, actually, in my opinion. Next up here is Bastila Fallen. She has a leadership Zeta. Great one. It probably isn't as useful as it used to be, but it's still very good in some cases, like, for example, countering a new Galactic Legend Kylo Ren, or using her as leadership versus a Grievous team or something like that, like a BB-8 team with Grievous. It's a great Zeta there as well. More protection up, a little bit more damage as well. It's great, not too bad at all. Darth Nihilus has one on his unique, and this one applies some more health down on enemies for 2 turns at the start of each enemy's turn. It's not crazy, but if you think about it, if like you maybe perhaps miss damage over time on somebody and you want to make sure you get more, that can be pretty good for more AoE increases, but for the most part, you're not going to get much use out of that anyways. So this might be one I wish I didn't put on Nihilus, actually. Okay, so next up here is Qi'ra. Another one I wish I didn't really put on her just yet, although I think she can get some really good uses out of it here shortly. Pretty much you get more potency, and other casual allies gain half potency and half critical damage bonuses from what Qi'ra gets, which is 15% and 20% potency, so it's not bad at all. But I just wish I didn't put it on her just yet, because I think that she might get some more uses in the future, but right now, at the moment, probably not that great of a Zeta. So next up here is Darth Vader. Darth Vader has a leadership. Man, this is an old school one. It was great for killing some of the tank and the HAT and the Rancor, I guess you could say. But outside of that, you get no use out of it anymore. So honestly, if you guys are early game, maybe you have to place it like I did, feel free to do it. But if you don't need to at all, don't do it. It's such a bad Zeta, honestly. Both Zetas on Vader are very, very bad. And he's one I wish got a rework so bad. He would be great with a rework. But let's move on. Wampa has 2 uniques, but I have his Cornered Beast unique, Zeta, with more counter chance, more health steal, and offense for each damage over time on enemies. It's pretty good. You know, we can solo some teams early on. But for me and how I use Wampa, I don't get much use out of him because many teams that I fight in my GACs are not easily soloable, and this Zeta kind of goes to waste at times. However, that could kind of change if I get this guy up to Relic, and I guess Gear 13 and Relic 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be. It could be pretty good at that point, but for the time being with Gear 12, it's probably not going to be as useful for me. So that's him. New Gunray has an insane Zeta on his unique. More damage whenever some Separatist inflicts a debuff. It is amazingly powerful. I love the Zeta a lot. And if you guys don't have it, please get it. Please get it. So next up here on the list is B2. He has a crazy good unique on his crazy good Zeta on his unique, I guess. I'm not sure what I was going to say there. But pretty much whenever he inflicts a debuff, all Separatist droid allies gain 5% more turn meter. Might not sound like a whole lot, but as you stack that turn meter gain with Grievous's turn meter gain on his leadership, it goes crazy. It goes so crazy that you just cannot control them at all for the droids at all. It's a great Zeta here. So next up here is Mission. Mission has one on her unique. So she can now assist a little bit more with Zalbar. It's not that bad. She applies some dots, which is pretty good. And also Zalbar has one as well. It kind of synergizes well with Mission. They both now recover 10% protection for each dot effect on enemies at the start of his turns. Not bad. Is it necessary? Probably not. But I put it on him to get Darth Revan and Malak. I needed that Zeta actually. So next up here is Qarth. Qarth is kind of similar things here. I needed this guy to get Darth Revan. A lot of you have probably already done this. But outside of that and getting Darth Revan and Malak unlocked, this is such a weird and gross Zeta because all of the other Old Republic characters are just so bad and overrated. They really are. They're not very good at all. So just coming on down the line here, we got a few more. Droideka. Droideka has a unique Zeta here. Great Zeta. It's a must-have, in my opinion, to unlock General Anakin Skywalker for that huge galactic... what's it called? Epic Confrontation event. You must have this, in my opinion, unless you have some crazy relics on everybody else. But this is great outside of just that event because you're now going to have more added evasion if he does not have damage immunity, which can pose him a very big threat, especially if you were to really cheese it up and use a high evasion percent leadership like an Old Ben or Talia or Ahsoka or somebody who has evasion built in their leadership. It's a great Zeta, but also on top of that, whenever he is in damage immunity mode, you have percent chances to assist, which is very, very good. So that's him. Next up here, we have Beerus Offie. Beerus is a really old school Zeta. Very simple though. Whenever an ally is critically hit, that ally recovers 20% of their health. So this is a great Zeta for most parts of the game. Right now, for me, I don't get too much use out of it. But I think that her Zeta will be very, very, very good with Ki-Adi-Mundi as more people unlock him and get him higher star. So in that regards, I think that Zeta might be bumped up a little bit more, which I'm kind of happy I have at the moment, and I don't have to worry about getting it in the future. It's a great one though. It's kind of like a sleeper one for the most part, but like once you get more Jedi and stuff built up, I think it's going to boost up in its viability a lot. So next up here is Imperial Probe Droid. Great Zeta here on his unique called Imperial Logistics. And pretty much it says whenever any target locked ally is, or whenever anybody has target lock rather, they cannot gain buffs. So pretty much just like a built-in shock, a built-in buff immunity, anything that stops buffs, that's what it does. It's a great Zeta, especially with using him under the EP team. You can stop some more Padmes with some more protection up. You can now stop some more taunts happening. It's a great Zeta. I love it a lot, actually. Next up here, though, we're going to chat about some Veers. So Veers, wish I didn't have this on him, but earlier on, he was great for countering some teams that I used to counter. But now I don't really have the other teammates around him built up, so it kind of goes to waste. It's not bad of a Zeta, though. You get a lot more offense, Terminator as well. And it's not that bad at all, honestly. But I just don't have my troopers built up, so it's kind of gone to waste, in my opinion. So that's that. Next up here is Chief Chirpa. Man, I think you need a Zeta for getting 3PO. If you don't have the Zeta getting 3PO, man, you guys are crazy. So yeah, you pretty much need it for 3PO. That's about it, honestly. Outside of that whole event, you never have to use Ewoks ever again. They're not going to be used much anywhere else. Maybe versus a really kind of crappy First Order and crew team. Not really used outside of that, though, honestly. So very bad Zeta, honestly, because of the Zeta, or I guess rather, and the faction itself and the teammates around him are very, very bad. So coming down here, I might have actually a few more. No, guess what? We got through them all. Oh, baby, that took me forever. We got through them all, guys. We did it. The last Zeta was on Chief Sherpa. Man, oh man. Am I glad that I got through all that with 30 minutes on the clock. Let's go. So that is the video for today. All of my experiences with my Zetas, most of them are great Zetas, or maybe some of them are, average. There's a couple here I wish I didn't have, but like I said, I've always found some use for them as I've been playing the game. But as I continue playing more and more and more, all these other Zetas that I might, have right now at the moment might seem to fall off big time. Like, the Kylo Ren, like the Qui-Gon Jinn, like the Darth Vader, stuff like that, right? So maybe this can shine some light onto you guys that are newer, which ones you want to go for. Or maybe you guys are old school like me. Maybe you guys have the same similar Zetas. You guys let me know down below. I would love to hear some of you guys' comments and thoughts here on this video. But thank you guys for watching today's video. I know it was a long one. But hopefully this is a good one to watch. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, share it around, and sub to the channel if you guys are new here. That's new for me today, though. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I will see you all later. Peace out.